I'm a futurist. And what a futurist does is to study the trends that are likely to shape the future over the next 10, 20 or 30 years. There's no astrology, no fortune telling. It's just that we look at the big trends in society, in technology, in politics and economics to see what is likely to occur in that sort of future time frame. Overall, the benefits of the digital network economy are profoundly good. Overall, there are always downsides to every technology, but essentially we are getting better, our lives are richer, we are getting healthier directly as a result of this technology, and we're going to live longer. So the combination of richer lives, health and living longer, of course, is a wonderful thing. Big positives that come out of the network economy is lowering the transaction cost of doing business and indeed of living life. Let me give you a personal example. If I'm on a corner on a wet day and I urgently need a taxi, an app-based taxi hailing app will actually get me one much quicker than traditional methods of hoping to put my arm up and stop one that's passing by. This improves my quality of life. Now, equally, a child in a classroom who's using a tablet or augmented reality or virtual reality is having a far richer learning experience. The human teacher in the class we must never do away with, because for youngsters the personal relationship is everything. But nevertheless, we are enriching education. In healthcare, the idea that we've got a fitness tracker on our wrist or we've got other wearables that are monitoring how our body is doing is the beginning of a revolution which will lead inside 10 or 20 years to us all having essentially a smart body, a body network which is constantly monitoring how our body is doing. Now, nobody who's healthy is going to be interested in knowing that information. That isn't the point. The point of it is that it's monitoring all the time, and it only comes into use if something begins to go wrong. So it actually provides an early warning system. But also all that data that will be collected as we wear these various monitoring devices will actually give drug companies, pharmaceutical companies, much better information about how bodies respond to various drugs. For example, if I was taking a particular drug, let's call it an aspirin, in a few years' time, well, the makers of aspirin would actually have much better information about how it affected me when I had a head cold, or when it was raining, or when it was very hot or very cold, or when I was an insomniac, or when I was sleeping well. And this is true of all more serious drugs than aspirin. So all of a sudden, we individuals become a walking laboratory, feeding real-time data back to pharmaceutical companies about how their drugs are performing. The next step is that they'll be able to tailor individual drugs to us, so that in fact we have truly personalised medicine. Digital technology is a key driver in the evolution of the digital economy, but we're not yet at a point of mass unemployment, nor indeed the threat of mass unemployment. I mean, 20 odd years ago, I was being asked, what are we going to do when computers take our jobs? And they were thinking then in 20 years' time, which is today. Well, of course, many jobs have been replaced by computers. Think of typesetters, think of bank tellers, and there are many other categories. But then 20 years ago, how many pet hairdressers were there? How many tattoo parlours were there? How many personal fitness trainers were there? So just at the moment, just as quickly as jobs are displaced, new jobs are created. And I see that continuing for the next 20 years. After the next 20 years, it's a different story. At the moment, we're living in a time of digital disruption. And digital disruption is affecting almost every aspect of daily life. And in fact, it's even affecting our national economies. This is a completely new phenomenon. Economists are worrying about it. Central bankers are worrying about it. And they think something is wrong. And economists point to the very low energy prices. And they say, this is the reason that we've got such low inflation. But in fact, they're only partly right. What most of them are missing is that the digital disruption, which is holding down the prices of financial products, airfares, accommodation prices, retail prices, taxi fares, and so on, are actually a completely new form of economics, a networked economy, if you will. And we don't really have the tools to measure this new digital networked economy. Certainly economists don't. Certainly we don't have it properly when we come to measuring GDP. And as a result of that, we've moved into a new age where we have a different set of economics. And in this new age, growth of 1 or 2% when we've got zero inflation is absolutely wonderful.